Welcome back, tribe. I have one here saying he thought divorce was a good idea until she had to pay him child support. This is another case with the Judge Vonderby. Apparently, people have been saying it's actually a real judge, and they're just reenacting transcripts from real cases, something of the sort. But it's a good lesson for men of what you could expect in court. Some guys still got their heads in the sand.
And I see my kids maybe like 4 times a week.
Okay.
I see them pretty often, and she's trying to take my kids and move off to Florida.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm not going for that.
All right. Did she tell you why she was trying to move to Florida?
Because she just want to live her best life.
She said that?
That's what it is. She want to go to the beach, drink coconut balls or whatever they have out there in Florida, and just have her best life.
You don't want her to move to Florida?
No, ma'am.
All right. And you want your child support reduced as a result if she does move? Or do you just want it reduced just because?
I just want it reduced just because.
Okay, got it.
I feel like I know dudes that don't see their kids ever and they not on child support. I see my kids multiple times through the week and I'm paying $880 a month.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I think that tells you everything you need to know about his view of relationships is very transactional.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very much I do this and you do that. And I think the fact that he didn't even bother to mention our children's names should tell you everything about our relationship.
Well, he told me the ages.
Yeah, well, that's great.
What?
Robert and Madison, that's with a Y.
But she ain't asked for the kid.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Anyway, so
Wow.
Going back to evidently I'm just going to Florida for a permanent vacation. I'm actually going for a job.
All right.
So what's that job?
Robert and less talking, more listening.
And you do the same thing. All right, now.
So I'm taking the kids to.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's men in relationships like this right now watching this channel shaking their heads like I could never speak to my wife and tell. Dude, imagine. I had a guy email me saying that he showed a video of mine to his wife and they got in an argument and a fight saying that what I'm saying isn't true. Stop watching this stupid shit and don't ever bring up this topic ever again. Got defensive because whatever I said in the video triggered her because it was the truth and the guy was just trying to like bring it up in a nonchalant kind of way like, hey, check this video out. And she immediately got, what are you trying to tell me? Are you saying I'm blah, 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 blah? Dude, you guys are walking on eggshells. Some of you are in these relationships that are draining the life out of you. What are you doing? God forbid you're married and then you end up with a woman like this. This is crazy. I could never see. How low does your self-esteem have to be? How thirsty are you to get laid? What kind of childhood trauma are you dealing with that you're allowing yourself to be with a person like this and give her 2 kids? I don't care that this is a reenactment. It happened to somebody. It's currently happening to somebody. There are guys probably in your lives that you're watching right now that have went through something akin to this. Why do you guys give any time and attention to these harpies? The disrespect is unbelievable. Men are allowing themselves to be disrespected.
To Florida because I have a greater job opportunity.
Okay.
And it's great that he thinks that that he's paying for the right to see his kids. And that there are people who don't pay child support and who see their kids a whole lot, Judge. That tells you everything you need to know about the transactional nature of relationships to Mr. Morris. So
where is your accountability? Why'd you have not 1 but 2 kids? Didn't you see this before the first kid? Then you still decided to be with Mr. Morris and have the second kid. At one point, did you realize you were dating a Dusty or an irresponsible bum or whatever it is that you call him behind his back or maybe in front of this judge right now? Mr. Transactional. You had 2 kids by Mr. Transactional. What does that say about you?
Look, the fact of the matter is, I guess he doesn't realize that his children are going to need to eat, whether they live in Texas or they live in Florida. And
that's true.
And they're going to need new tennis shoes and new clothes. And I guess he just thinks that money goes on trees or that kids just eat for free. It's not how it works. This isn't TGI Fridays. His opinion that $880 is too much for the kids is wrong. It is a wrong opinion.
Oh. So it's some hurt feelings there. Okay, I understand. So, have you already moved to Florida, or is this something that you're intending on doing pretty soon?
Well, I took the job offer and I've already found an
So the
apartment.
answer is yes. You pretty much already.
Everything but the U-Haul, Your Honor.
Okay. So in your court order, do you have a geographic restriction because dad lives here?
Yes, but he
But
moved just outside of Ellis County, so he's just outside of the geographic restriction, so it's technically lifted, Your Honor.
Okay. And technically is what you said, but is that what your court order says?
Well, the court order says Dallas and contiguous counties, and he moved like a mile on the other side of the Ellis County line.
Okay. And I do have a copy of your court order here, and it doesn't mention that it's automatically lifted.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
I was just thinking
always-
it was the one that.
O is right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
O
Thank
is
you.
right. What?
I'm sorry.
O is right. Because you can't just leave.
Mm.
You can't
But technically I can because he's within a mile out of the contiguous counties. And like, it's not fair. Watch.
just do that. You actually
to
have
be.
to ask permission to modify this order like he did.
Well, can I modify the order to move to Florida?
Did you file anything today?
I mean,
It's a yes or no.
No, you didn't.
no.
Okay. So you're moving without
The delusion in the West is so strong that I seriously can't believe this. This is a real conversation. It probably happens in court all the time. Women think they could just show up and be like, well, I feel like moving. So like, can we just file now while we're in court for something completely different? Procedure out the window. These women have been sheltered and have been spoon-fed so much bullshit and delusion, have been bailed out and had men do things for them for so long that they think they could just show up at court and ask a judge like, yeah, I'm gonna just lift this shit because I feel like moving to Florida. I got a new job. That shit is unbelievable.
asking the court, can you move? And dad is still living here.
Well, I guess I just didn't understand the way the order was written because I had heard that if he moved outside of
She
where
heard.
it said, then I could move out.
Who did you hear that from? Did you Google? You did one of those Google searches? One of the Google lawyers told you that?
My BFF.
I guess.
Oh, okay. Because they told you wrong, and that's the problem with Googling everything. You should have actually consulted with an attorney who would have interpreted this order properly to you. You can't just move. So let me tell you what we're going to do, because I think this is the fair thing to do. Regardless to whether you say his visits are inconsistent, he say they're consistent, the reality of it is when you move to Florida, he can no longer have access to those kids. So even if he were coming this day, and did every weekend, he won't be able to do that anymore now that you are going to move to Florida. So what I'm not going to touch is your custody arrangement. Not going to touch that at all. This is a child support court. That has nothing to do with us, okay? So I'm not going to touch it at all. You are free to move to Florida. However, he's coming off child support.
Oh,
So then he can use the money, the $880 or so that he would give you for child support. He can use that to travel to actually see the kids.
oh,
But what if he doesn't, Your Honor?
Well, if he doesn't, then after some time of him not doing it consistently, and when I say consistently and consecutively, it needs to at least be about 6 months or something like that, right?
damn.
Then you can come back and let me know, Judge, he's not exercising regularly. I need some support for these 2 kids, right? But absent anything like that, I believe that's in the best interest of the children. And quite frankly, that's fair. You're moving without permission, right?
Yeah.
Which is a violation of your court order. So it's only fair that he stops paying child support. So beyond a reduction, he's coming off child support today. Now you will have to keep maintaining the health insurance, okay?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right. So that, what is it, 362?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll still continue to pay the health insurance, but there will be no child support paid from him to.
Ha! That woman is a walking red flag. Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. I blame this man for giving her 2 kids that she obviously doesn't deserve. And that is a fact, boys. At the end of the day, you pumped, you came, you saw, you left with a child in tow. Wrap it up, protect your seed, stop giving it out to all these dusty women that don't deserve 2 seconds of your time. You guys are being locked at the hip for life, having a kid with these women that are absolute low value scum. And you want to be surprised, they're going to end up in court with absolute huge headaches and lifelong payments, basically completely stopping and capping the progress you could make. Child support. Imagine if he had alimony on top. As I says, Durex marketing department should be showing these types of videos to men. I used to give my ex 150 euros per week in Ireland. And because I didn't get her a Christmas present, she brought me to court in which I claimed I was out of work and she only ended up getting 30 euros a week. Jeez. She goes to court for more money. She leaves without 880 bucks. This guy says, I'm so glad I'm single. I will not be looking for relationships. These women are morally and financially broke. My son-in-law's ex tried to pull something like this. The judge did not allow the move of the children, but she had to bring the children back or pay for air flights to bring the children back every weekend and most holidays. The judge looked at his income compared to hers. She made so much more. The judge reduced his child support. She then quit her high-paying job and had the guts to take him back to court for child support. The judge was not having it. He said, you quit your job out of spite, so the child support will remain the same. Within a year, my son-in-law had full-time custody of the children. You see how ridiculous these get? These are real stories. Listen to this. My ex took mine 800 miles away, gets $900 a month in child support. I haven't seen the kids in 8 years. Works a 20 an hour job while getting half of everything I make, all while I live homeless in and out of a car while the courts do nothing but threaten to throw me in jail. Seeing videos like this gives me hope. Look, I live in the UK and have a similar story to tell. My partner has several adult-age children that have all left home and now have families of their own. One of her sons is divorced, but he has a son to his ex-wife that he pays the mandated child support for and has access to regularly. We'll call this child one. But his ex-wife is bitter and twisted, so one time, when his ex-wife was being particularly nasty and vicious, she decided she would try to make him poor by telling the child support agency here in the UK that he had another child by a different second woman that he also wasn't living with and wasn't paying any child support for. We'll call these Mother 2 and Child 2. This is true, but it was at mutual consent with Mother 2, and he didn't pay any child support for Child 2 because he wouldn't have any custody or access to Child 2. However, because it'd been reported, it'd been investigated. The child support agency found it was true, but Mother 2 once again told him she wasn't interested in him paying any child support for Child 2 as he wouldn't be seeing Child 2. The child support agency, however, disagreed and said he had to pay Mother 2 child support for Child 2, despite the fact that Mother 2 herself said she didn't want it. His ex-wife, mother of Child 1, thought she had won in bankrupting him by using the child support agency system in a vindictive way to try to make him pay more money in total by informing the child support agency of Mother and Child 2. What the hell? Until the child support agency said that now, because of the wage he earns, that the money the ex-wife gets for Child 1 would be halved. Haha. With the second child of that money now going to Mother 2 and Child 2 instead of going to his ex-wife and Child 1. His ex-wife, mother of Child 1, had just presumed that mother of Child 2 would get the same amount of child support for Child 2 as she was getting at the time for her kid, and that he would end up paying double the amount total child support. But that's not obviously how the system works here. There's a maximum total amount of child support a father can pay regardless of the number of children that's involved. This is worked out on his income. What a moron. Can you look at what men are dealing with, dude? Jesus, the vindictiveness, man, of divorce court. This is the reality that a lot of men don't understand. They think they're beautiful little princess. They're nice little flower. She is so pure. She will not do this to me. I'm different. Yeah, all right, bro. You and everybody else who thought they had a unicorn. She's about to serve your ass up in child support court, alimony, everything. You got warned. Only get married in countries where marriage laws make sense. If you are not in a traditional conservative society, getting married in the West is practically self-deletion for a man's finances and potentially his life. Don't get married in the West. Don't get married in the West. Don't get married in the West. How many more times do we have to say it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Share some of your nightmare stories. If you haven't, check out the second channel. I post videos every day, walking around Bucharest, talking about life overseas, self-improvement, questions men may have, dating, relationships, the usual, as well as the private community. Join us on some calls. We have a new Discord up. If you haven't, it's right here. You can scan the little barcode to join. And shout outs to everybody that's been buying shirts, stickers, mugs, all that stuff. Help support the channel, as well as everybody else interested in the consulting. Thank you so much. The calls have been amazing, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.